our dry streak is over. Finally, some wet weather across the valley. The first rain we've had in 159 days in Phoenix. So here's a time lapse of the clouds rolling across the valley as seen from our tower camera on South Mountain.
And for most of us, the rain did not amount to too much, but it was enough to register at Sky Harbor Airport, and that is what counts. Some wet roads out there over the night, over the evening hours, and also during the early morning hours.
Yeah, it was a nice way to wake up for sure. But winter finally arriving in the high country. Snow falling in Sedona, Prescott, and up at Arizona Snow Bowl near Flagstaff. I'm sure they're very grateful for that. Most places picking up at least an inch and several more. Morning fog made for some difficult driving conditions, though, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, the taste of winter, it did not last too long.
And meteorologist Erica Horvatine is adding up the totals and tracking the radar for us. Erica.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that snow is ongoing. And yesterday, some areas picked up plenty of snow with 10 inches in one spot. A lot of that snow focused in the Prescott area and the surrounding mountains. But I wanted to take you through this time lapse. This was Sedona. Check that out. A snow squall. Very cool. It just comes out of nowhere, causing zero visibility at one point. That adding up, I would love to see what that looks like now. We ended up seeing a little bit of accumulation in spots today so far, but I won't have the official numbers probably until tonight or tomorrow morning. So let's get to what's happening on radar. As you can see, most of the metro is pretty dry, but on the north side of town, there are a couple of showers possible, maybe some sprinkles as well. We have a shower pushing through Cave Creek. One is passing over Fountain Hills. These are moving from northwest to southeast now, so these rain chances have kind of shifted in direction since yesterday as the low continues to track eastward, and now all of this is coming in on the backside of that system. Black Canyon City seeing a little bit of rain right now, but most of 17 is dry north from there at this point. Prescott with some light flurries and some rain over in the Chino Valley, and Flagstaff is currently seeing some snow. In fact, you could see a nice patch of white making its way toward the San Francisco peaks, with Sedona also seeing a mix of rain and snow. Further east out along I-40, you're going to find rain showers from Winslow out to Holbrook, and it turns to snow at Snowflake. Heber is currently dry, and Payson is seeing a round of some light snow moving through right now. And there has been that snow passing through the Sunrise ski area as well. Looks like that might start to lighten up here pretty soon. But as we've gone through the past 6 hours around our area, we have picked up around 400 of an inch near Tempe and just east of Scottsdale, 0.2 a little closer to Ahwatukee, and then further north 0.04 inches of rain in Fountain Hills and 0.08 inches closer to Lake Pleasant. So it's really awesome to see that. I believe that our number here for the airport is going to come in around 1/100th of an inch, but we'll be finding that out here within the next couple of minutes because the official report comes out at 5 o'clock. But exciting stuff, and we'll see this coming to an end. And coming up in Corey's full forecast, he'll be tracking all of that.
Sounds good, Erica. Thank you. Well, hopefully your morning commute wasn't too bad with all the rain on the roadway.
Yeah, while it wasn't, of course, a major downpour, it was enough to cause some issues out on the roads. They've been dry for so long. You get that water on there, and it can cause some problems. We spoke to some real racing pros to keep you safe. Here's Steve Nielsen.
The Valley of the Sun lost its nickname Wednesday morning. After 100.5 days, finally our windshield wipers were put to work. The smattering of the drops on the windshield may not have been the only noise on wet asphalt. Danny Bullock is a driving pro, to say the least.
Most drivers here were used to clear skies, sun's shining bright, dry roads.
The instructor took me for a ride around the road track at Radford Racing School, saying even a little rain can be a real issue.
In the first 10 minutes of moisture on the asphalt is the most dangerous, because that's what always draws up the oil from inside the ground, and it becomes very slick at first.
You're a racing instructor, and you're saying the right way to drive when it starts raining that first 10 minutes is to slow down.
Absolutely. You know, we hear the word hydroplaning all the time, and I'm not sure that everybody exactly knows what hydroplaning is. If you're driving too fast, you're going to be on top of that layer of oil and water. You're not going to have as much grip. The car is not going to respond the way you anticipated.
He demonstrated what that lack of control looks like. Understeer and oversteer.
Even lower speeds, when there's rainfall, there's precipitation, and you've got a wet surface to drive on, you can lose grip pretty quickly.
They even have special skid cars to teach drivers how to safely handle loss of control in tough weather.
I can raise the back end of the car or the front end of the car up to induce a car that gets into a skid, and it feels like you're driving on snow or ice.
While some may roll their eyes on light rain affecting our roads, take it from a pro and steer clear of trouble. Steve Nielsen, Fox 10 News.
All right, you can also keep track of the winter weather with the Fox 10 weather app. It's free to download. You can find a link at fox10phoenix.com or in the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store.
A local family is devastated at the loss of their child after 42 weeks of pregnancy. So this was a full-term pregnancy. And now their attorney is planning to file a lawsuit against the Mesa birthing center that they were at.
And Fox 10's Lauren Clark is joining us live now to break this down with responses from both sides.
Well, Mark and Christina, it's very important to stress that there are no criminal charges in this incident. There's also no lawsuit filed in this case yet. However, an attorney representing the family says he intends to do so for accountability. But when I reached out to the Willow Center for Midwife and Wellness, they said they defended their reputation with statistics.
Noelle and Dylan Smerzel say they were excited to welcome baby boy James into the world in November 2023. When looking at options to give birth, Noelle says Willow Birthing Center in Mesa stood out.
I enjoy the idea of a business or a healthcare run by women that's exclusively serving women.
At 42 weeks, Noelle went into labor. The couple says the delivery was not easy.
Because she was in a lot of pain, so we were like, should we just go to the hospital and get something to help her mitigate the pain? And the midwife was very dismissive of it. She's like, no, this is normal, everything's fine.
But as the hours went on, the Smerzels say they realized everything was not fine. Eventually, Noelle was rushed to the hospital. After a 36-plus hour labor and attempted delivery at Willow, baby James died at Banner Desert.
There's nothing worse than that.
This is a tremendous tragedy, and it's something that's completely preventable.
Preventable, says the couple's attorney, John Kelly, because of how far along Noelle was in her pregnancy.
These midwives know very much that at 42 weeks of pregnancy, it's too long. They have to transfer them to the hospital at that point.
It's a stance that Willow refutes. In a statement to Fox 10, a representative noted that the cutoff week to deliver a baby at a birth center is at 42 weeks. Willow also noted that it holds accreditation from the nation's highest standard in birth center safety and regulation and is run by 2 certified nurse midwives with doctorates in their field. At least one other wrongful death lawsuit was brought against Willow. The complaint filed describes another attempted delivery at the facility in June of 2023. Mesa police paperwork listing names matching the complaint describes a call for a child not breathing. The officer wrote that upon arrival at the hospital, a nurse made a comment about how Willow was known to the NICU staff. The officer also wrote that a physician said in 2022 they received about 8 newborn patients and that 2 or 3 died. Willow told Fox 10 it had a transfer rate of 13%, below the national average of 15.8%, and that Willow's NICU admission rate was less than 1%. The previous lawsuit was settled just weeks ago, according to an attorney's website. But now Kelly says he plans to soon file another.
We don't have all the information yet, but what we do have thus far shows us that there was clear negligence. It should have never happened. And the baby should have been transferred much earlier.
As for the Smerzels, they say accountability is important.
They get to keep going on throughout their days, but we live with the consequences of when we don't feel like we necessarily should have had to, and it was preventable. So like every day we have to think about everything that has happened.
And Fox 10 did view statements of deficiencies from the Arizona Department of Health Services against the midwives that Noelle say helped her. Those midwives now have a chance to respond. Now, Willow says it cannot talk about specific instances citing HIPAA privacy laws. However, it did say that it does receive one of the highest scores with its staff and facilities, according to state records, and that it follows all policies. Reporting live here in the control room, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Lauren, thank you. It has been 5 years now since a Valley man was shot and killed over a parking spot in Glendale.
Yeah, Silent Witness and Glendale PD are hoping that you can help them find who pulled the trigger. This happened on January 29th, 2020, just after 7 p.m. in the Westgate parking lot. Police say 31-year-old Tyler Wilson got into an argument with another driver who then pulled out a gun, shot Wilson several times before taking off. Wilson was then taken to the hospital where he died.
We don't have a lot more information on it, so we're looking for our community's engagement to help with any identifiable aspects of the car, whether there's damage, stickers. Again, this case is 5 years old, so we understand that this car may have been sold, may have been traded, may no longer be with the suspect that we're looking for.
But the suspect was driving a silver four-door sedan and is described as Hispanic, a man between the ages of 25 and 35 years old. If you have any information, you're being asked to call Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS. You can remain anonymous.